How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Monday live stream. My name is Guillaume. I'm a live sound engineer that run this YouTube channel where I talk about pretty much anything that has to do with live production, the Behringer Wing, or anything else that I believe would be interesting for you to watch if you are in a world of live production or live sound or maybe OBS, because I have an OBS video where I show a little bit how to use MIDI and OBS for switching, like I'm doing for my scene switching. Hold on. The front camera is not up yet. We'll fix that later. As soon as we need it. It's probably dead because I'm charging the battery at the time of speaking. So, guys, tell me, how was your weekend? I had a pretty rough one. Hey, I got some really cool story to tell you about that. First, let me say hi. Bonjour, Patrick. Hi to V Studio. Hi, how are you? I'm really good. I'm actually recovering from a tough weekend, like I was saying before. Had a pretty rough one, let's be honest. Rolf, always good to have you. Tom, what's up, Tom? Good to have you back. Guys, cheer. Hope you have a coffee. Hope you have a nice beverage, depending on where you are in the world, what time is it in the world that you are located. I'm in Montreal, Canada, if it's of interest to you. Good to see people from everywhere around the world. I must admit that I'm flabbergasted by how cool it is to have a lot of people from everywhere in the world tuning into this show. Turning 40 yesterday. Congratulations. You made it to level 40. Can I get a birthday shout out? I have a hangover. Happy hangover to your birthday. Happy birthday. Seriously, I'm 37. I have a couple year ahead before me turning 40, and I can't wait to be old and not to be hangover, because I quit that a couple years ago. I'm a social drinker now, especially in the business that I am, having access to, let's say, all the booze that I want for free. I've stopped the hangover a few years ago, but dude, congratulations on being 40. Tom, stupid news from Behringer. Hold on, what's going on? Did I miss the news? Is it the rack? Is it the compact? Is it a new product? Or is it the new stuff, the new hardware models from Behringer? Honestly, guys, we need to talk about this. I'm impressed by how good the clone looks from Behringer. The new Neve stuff, the new Neve copy, they look awesome. Is it a Neve? No. It won't ever be a Neve. Is it a really good device? Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna buy the compressor, but maybe I'm gonna buy the preamp and EQ. This one, I could be interested in my inventory of tools that I can use, but. Okay, Tom, this is not what you want to talk about. You want to talk about the Ghost touchscreen issue. Is it in stock? Are the screen in stock? Because I think I saw the post that you saw this morning where a lot of people commented that it's a good news that Behringer is going to take care of the Ghost issue, the Ghost screen issue. If the supplier that you bought the console from, I believe, is not taking care of that anymore, you can just contact them. Thanks for the quote in the chat. If your Behringer Wing console was purchased from a retailer that is no longer existing, we take care of the warranty and manufacturing defect directly. We will create an RMA for the nearest repair center, and you need to post a longer post, dude, because I cannot read from there. But this is basically, they will take care of it. I think, if I remember the quote correctly, is if it's in stock, it will be shipped to you within 3 days. If it's not in stock, as soon as it's in stock, it will ship to you within 30 days. Which is a good thing. Well, it will ship to the repair center. So if you are close to a repair center, it's probably a good thing. If you're having touchscreen or ghost screen issue, feel really sorry for you, man. This is bad, but yes, they will take care of it. Okay, so I can finish that phrase. Thank you, Tom, for copying that over. So we will create an RMA for the nearest repair center, and we will create RMA and provides. Sorry, copy some of the phrase there. We will create an RMA for the nearest repair center and provide spare part displays, units through or B2B spare parts portal, free of charge. That's the thing, free of charge. It will be fixed for free. Well, the parts will be fixed for free. The person can order from there, and the earliest is within 3 days. The earliest within 3 days if in stock, and 30 days if it's not in stock. Once the spare part is shipped to the repair center to perform the repair. Okay, so that's basically the news. Behringer will take care of you. Behringer, listen. Behringer will take care of you. If you are a Behringer hater, oh well. Don't buy their product. Speaking of, should I dive into this? Should I dive into my weekend where I was not mixing on a Behringer wing? I was not mixing on a Midas Pro one. Or any other console that I actually love to use. Okay, let me close that. Basically, the repair center is usually asking for a 1 hour job to fix a screen on a console, what I believe is not much, thinking about the amount of screw that you need to get to this thing. But if it's coming from the repair center, official thing, we'll see what happens with that. Hope this helped. Let us know if any issues. Well, we'll see. Let's be honest and say that not everybody had a ghost touchscreen problem with their console. It happened, okay? Let's be honest. Let's be clear here. It happened. Some console from the first batch from the factory shipped with a bad touchscreen. They did not expect that. Duh. And they did not test the console because they were not expecting to have firmware issue. Duh. Not firmware. Touchscreen issue. The firmware, totally different thing. They did not expect to have touch screen issue. Touch problem, ghosting, call it broken screen or whatever. Now, they had a problem. They're taking care of it for free. You may, let's be honest and say, and I'm going to read between the lines here. The parts will be supplied for free, maybe not the time of the technician that is working on the console. Maybe you will have to pay an hour of time for that. But it's not a big price to pay, especially for the price that you pay for the console. I understand that some people do not have that money, but I'm gonna be careful what I say here. It's not a lot of money to pay for an hour of technician. It's not a lot of money. For some people, if it's your personal console and you're only using it in your studio and you're not making any money out of this, it's an extra that you didn't want to spend. I get that. But for other people like me, where I rent this console, where I rent other console, it's being absorbed by the business expense. And at the end of the day, most console are expense. You know, they to me, they are tools that I have to make a job, and I rent them to my client, and I make money out of it. So if I have a bad screen, if Behringer want to replace it for free, awesome. If I have to pay for an hour a technician, sure. I get the part for free. I cannot really complain about that. Digital Dust, what's up? If you are seeing this message, I need some clarification on the precision limiter. Actually, let's talk about that. We're here to have a good time with the wing. Let me change the camera and see if my top camera is turning on. It's just, don't worry guys, don't go anywhere. Yeah, it just doesn't have a lot of battery. We'll see if I can make this quick. A precision limiter. What do you want to know exactly about the precision limiter? Because I'm using one all the time. Well, you're hearing one all the time. And I'm using this one right here. This is what I use as a final step, as a mastering for my voice right now. My signal chain is a channel coming into my main bus. I'm sending in fairly hot. I'm sending that into a compressor. Actually, I can bring that down just a little bit. This one, I can bring the input down, and I can bring the output down. Just a touch. Yeah, it's not gonna change much. But let's go back to here. Let's go back on my channel. This is my compressor that is gonna affect my main mix. So I only have one microphone, but it's been sent through my main mix. It's been compressed a little bit. You know, I'm using the G-Bus compressor, and I'm sending that into a limiter. I'm not boosting the gain because I have a lot of signal, but if I really want to, I can crank the living crap out of this limiter. It's only going to bring some background noise as I'm compressing, and let's be careful. Watch your volume here. I'm going to compress. I'm going to add 18 dB of compression to my voice. I can almost hear my heartbeat at this point, but I'm using a lot of gain reduction here. Actually, way too much. It's going to sound squashy. And my breathing is almost at the same level as I'm talking, which is too much. I'm abusing this unit right now. But sorry, I just hear everything. Yeah, that's a little too much. Let's bring that down to where usually it should make sense to use. So I don't really want to have more than 3 dB of gain reduction. I don't care about the level of input. Basically, the level of input is there to help me get a black camera. We'll see what's happening with that. But basically, I want to crank the input gain until I reach about a maximum of 3 dB of gain reduction on the meter itself, on the meter gain reduction. The output level, I'm using -25. Just because I want to send as much energy as I can to the mainstream, to the internet stream that I'm doing right now. And I don't want to clip. So I use the limiter as the last thing in my signal chain to avoid clipping. I can send a really loud signal the way I'm doing it right now. I can send a really loud signal to my stream or to my main, compress it, and use the limiter as the last, safety net for me to send really loud volume, but not clipping. I hope that's going to answer your question. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that you replied in the chat here. I recently started using it for recording in the church, duty variation, while in a time sermon and worship. Okay. I think you got the wrong approach here. You find, okay, let me backtrack that. I think you find a solution to your problem using the limiter to adjust the level between your, I'm gonna guess, preacher speaking and while the band is playing. But I think, hold on, I try to make sense of that phrase here. I recently started to use the recording for church and due to variation while in time of the sermon and worship. Okay, that's correct. So, okay. What you would need to do, or actually, you find a workaround. you figure out a way to fix your problem. But I think if we backtrack this a little, what I would do, personal opinion, I would use a different mix than the one coming out of your main to send to your stream or to your main. And you said recording, so I'm gonna guess it's also for stream and recording. You want to have a different mix for that. You probably want to have different level or independent level than the one that you have in the room. So if you are using your wing as a, main mixer for the room, you want to create a second mix. It could be your main 2, could be your auxiliary. Some people just take the USB out of the console and send that into Logic, Pro Tool, whatever, a computer, and do a mix there. But you probably want to use a different mix than a single mix using a limiter as a safety net. You probably want to have a main 2, and in that main 2, you want to have lower level for your band and probably a higher level for your preacher. You basically want to level match your preacher and your band. So if your preacher can only get that high, well, try to fit your bend under. It doesn't really matter if your fader are really low on your stream mix and your preacher is really high, as soon as the end result is pretty much the same. Using a limiter to remedy that level, it's gonna work, but it's probably gonna make your band sound like squash or not good, because you're gonna compress it a lot. Remember what I did? The camera just shut off, but I'm gonna crank the input gain of the compressor again. I sound, it's working. Right now it's doing about 20 dB of compression. It's gonna work. It's gonna sound not as natural as I was before. It's not gonna clip, but it's not gonna sound as natural as it was before. And the reason is we're cranking the input gain on the limiter, and that's bringing up a lot of background noise. I can use my finger like this, and you guys are hear that as much or the same volume as I'm speaking, which is not natural. So what you want to do is to have a different mix, and let me bring down the input gain of the limiter just a little bit. Actually, hold on. There you go. So instead of, cranking everything and bring up background noise, you want to have a different mix where you're gonna manage your energy differently. You want to have your preacher at the same level, and you want to have a second mix where you're gonna have your band a little lower. Then you can add a mastering compressor or a mastering chain on that compressor and the limiter, and maybe an EQ at some point if you need to fix some stuff for the recording. Sometimes, it doesn't sound the same if you are in a room or if you are at home watching it from a live stream. So you want to fix the problem there. You don't want to just slap a limiter on it and call it a day. Or that would be my approach, to not just destroying the dynamic of that stuff just for no reason. Is it gonna work? Well, if it's working for you, it's working, but I would just suggest you a different approach if that makes sense to you. Now, hold on. Always, every time that I'm on a live stream, I have people calling in, right? I'm gonna take that later, my friend. Really sorry. Okay, always forget to put my phone on D&D mode. We are using the wing as the main mixer. Digital Dust still answering there. The reason I'm asking is because we have different timestamp for worship and sermons. I'm not really sure that I understand. I'm not really sure that I understand your statement here. I'm just gonna move on to a couple questions in the chat. First, I'm gonna say hi to Pancho. What's up, man? Always good to have you around, my American friend. Take your time, Digital Dust. I'm just gonna answer some more questions, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move back to you. Ralph, would a limiter at the output help to keep feedback under control? No, actually, I believe it will make it worse. Because, like I said before, if you're using a limiter and you're cranking up the input gain, you're just going to bring back everything. And you're bringing back everything and you put a ceiling on it. So you're not going to get any more volume. You're going to get actually more background noise. This is why in studio they use those rooms that are super quiet, super well treated with no standing wave and stuff like that, because as soon as you start to compress that into multiple layer compression, so channel compression, bus compression, a limiter, you're gonna bring that stuff up. I believe watching a video, I believe it was from Warren Ewart from Mix Like a, is it Mix Like a Pro? Produce Like a Pro, sorry. Produce Like a Pro. And you basically explain the trick of layering compressor, and it's gonna bring up some noise. So you want to avoid squashing too much your stuff. Just a personal, you do you, but no, a limiter won't help with feedback. Actually, it will make it worse. What would it look like mixing from the touchscreen only? Like on the forthcoming wing rack, I've been noticed a little things being added to the wing, to the firmware of the wing, maybe to help with this. I don't know. Let's take a look at this. Do I have a camera back? Hold on, I may have to switch some camera, guys. Do I have a camera again? Hold on. Give me a sec. I just don't think I have enough power coming from that transformer here on the ceiling that's taking care of my camera. I'm gonna try to act quick. I'm selecting the channel next to the screen on the left. We're gonna go fader, and I'm gonna select that layer here. This is the one where I have my talkback. You can move my fader level here. Actually, this is supposed to be pre, so it should not affect, it's not affecting the volume. Okay, let's go back to here for a second. You could now, with the Behringer wing, only use the screen. I don't know where the view button, the one that is, hey, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yes. Is it louder when I'm doing this? Yes, it is. It seems to be louder. Let me fix that or figure that out later. Okay, hold on. Let's go to the core of the question. Can you use just the screen? I believe you would be able to use just the screen. I don't know where the select knob that I'm using for the layer would be on a rack, but I think it makes sense to just use the screen if you really want to. And maybe in the future, there will be a version of the wing that will only be a screen. Who knows? But now, I'm using channel 40, and it's currently on. Hold on. Where was I? Was I there? Okay. 4-second ads. Thank you, Patrick, for letting me know. You basically have all the control that you need. You can dive on the channel, and you can use, that fader. It's been a while. I'm using the jug wheel if I really want to, but yeah, basically this is how you would do it. What's up, West Africa? Good to have you guys back here. Let me charge my camera as we're speaking, right? I'm just gonna shut it down if I don't need it for now. But we're gonna try to answer some question that you guys have in the chat. It's really fun. You guys really start strong today. Usually those streams start slow. Here, you guys, really cool. You keep coming with question. I love it. It's so much fun to have this community. Let me take a second here to say thank you to all of you who are here today. I cannot enjoy this more in my life than being live with you, answering questions, geeking out with some sound engineer, and maybe teaching to people at some point. I don't want to teach. I don't like to, I don't want to call myself a teacher. Help you guys out. I cannot have more fun right now than just being with you and spreading out information, because I struggle so. Let me bring back to when I was a kid. No YouTube, no nothing. I was passionate, and I'm still passionate by sound engineering. Live sound engineering is my core. Making shows happen is the greatest thing I can do in life. I love that. And giving out information for you guys to do the same thing make me feel good. Makes me feel really good. So thank you very much for being here and asking those questions and making this thing a thing, if that makes any sense. Moving on to another question before I start crying. No, just kidding. We're trying to have fun here. Limiter, we answered that. Copilot should be fixed. I know there's some stuff working on that. There's a new update, by the way. If you didn't do it, just make sure to do your update. Don's Dream. Also, what's up, man? Good to see you. Ivan, good to see you, man. Do you use sidechain? And what's your approach? I do use sidechain on some occasion. When I'm doing front of house, or when I'm doing monitor, in-ear monitor from front of house. But nowadays I like to do monitor as a separate thing because I will have a different approach for that. Stuart, hope you're learning something, man. Feels so good to hear that. Thank you. Okay, where was I? Sidechain, yeah, sidechain. I do use sidechain on some stuff. I'm not using. Well, actually, I'm recycling a trick that I saw in dance music many years ago. When you are doing dance music, you sometimes want to trigger your low end information, your bass synth from the kick drum, meaning you do a sidechain where your bass drum hit will drop the volume of your bass guitar to making that pumping effect and to give out some low end space to that bass drum. And I was watching a video many years ago from someone that I admire. I don't know if he's ever going to see this, but if anyone here knows Big Mick, and Big Mick is the Metallica sound engineer, I want to thank him very much for giving out some interview where he talked about, the challenge that he has to go through for his bass drum, for his vocal, especially mixing in the 90s. It was a different environment that it is today. The sound system were not that good. And that didn't come from him, but he basically confirmed me. The reason why I was struggling dealing with heavy guitar and vocal is because they live in the kind of same space. But after, talking some stuff, hearing some stuff from Dave Rat, hearing some stuff from Mick, hearing some stuff from Brian Ewert from Produce Like a Pro, I put some stuff together and I came up with the idea of having a multi-band compressor on my guitars, sidechaining or being sidechained by my vocal. So every time now that I have the option to get a sidechain or a dynamic EQ on a sidechain, like I do have in the Wing, we have a lot of those, I'm compressing the mid-range of my guitar with my vocal. I limit it to 6 dB because I believe more than that will be too much. But I even do this for in-ear monitors of the band. That way, when a singer or when a guitar player try to blend, and when at the front of us, I try to blend loud guitar and vocal, as soon as the vocalists start to sing, it's going to reduce the mid-range of those guitars. It's going to EQ out the mid-range of those guitars, giving me some space for vocal. And from there, I can, when it start to where the singer finally shut up for the guitar solo or for a guitar part, it's going to bring back the mid-range of those guitar, which is going to bring my guitar more up front. So I basically use that as a auto mixer. As soon as my lead singer starts to sing, I use a sidechain dynamic EQ on my guitar, bringing the middle down, making around maybe 1K or 2K depending on the language, because this is something that maybe you guys don't know. Depending on the language that you speak, the mid-range frequency will change. It's per individual too, but most of the time you can globalize that by language. Depending on the language that you speak or you sing into, you will have different kind of sounds. So I'm using that, and I adjust the EQ depending on the language to between, let's say, 800 and 2.5K, depending on the singer, to just, duck down on my guitar, and that's helping me a lot. It makes it really easy to mix vocal and heavy guitar together, or just guitar. Or you can do the same thing for any other instrument that is within the same range of your vocal, because usually on most music style, somebody will find an exception of that, but usually most of the time when you have the singer singing, this is going to be the main thing that you want to hear. This is going to be the most important thing of the mix. And some people do not understand that. Some people do not understand that when you are doing a live mix, sometimes you have to sacrifice some other stuff. But when I'm mixing, my approach is always what is the most important thing that you need to hear first. And after that, I try to lay down, the rest of the band. If I go see a show, as a real life example, if I go see a show and it's the show's been sold as a single artist. Let's say my friend Simon. Some of you guys probably saw some stuff that I did with my friend Simon. I've been a sound engineer for the last 15 years. The project is his name. When you go see him, the most important thing that you want to see and hear is him. It's the money channel. Some people call it the money channel. Even if the musician in the band, he's running a 5-piece musician, so he's a 5-piece band. So it's him as a singer, drum, bass, a guitar player, and keyboard. The most important thing that you want to hear and see is him. So I mix according to that. His vocal is right there. Guitar, each side, if I have a guitar or two, because he's playing guitar from time to time. So guitar is going to be right under it. The drum's going to be there, to support him. Bass is going to be there to support him. But I make sure that in every single situation, I hear him. I hear what he has to say. I hear him. So I'm changing my mix and changing my approach to the mix according to that. If you go see a band and everybody in the band is as important as the other guys, I would mix, accordingly. If you don't know the band, go ask them. They will tell you. Well, actually, if you ask the lead singer, his vocal's never loud enough, but that's a different story. You have to filter and make sense out of that. But basically, all that to say, yes, I use sidechain and not in the same way that other people do, but I do use sidechain, and also, another sidechain trick that I'm using is my kick and snare tricks video that I have on the channel. Recently, my kick video has been really popular. So if you guys didn't see that, go make sure, once this live stream is done, please go check out my video about making huge kick live. You will have another sidechain trick from there. So, hold on. Let me make sure that I do not dive too far out. I'm gonna read the chat again. Actually, we need to finish with Digital Dust. He explained to me what I don't understand. We have 2 hours of Sunday service, and the worship time is 1 hour, and the sermon is for 45 minutes. So at the time of worship, we reduce the volume by 10 dB. However, at the time of sermon, I have to move the fader back to 0. It's a bit hectic to maintain the same level, and of volume in the stream. Yes, this is why I would suggest you to use. Well, actually, for your stream, you should not change the volume. Think about every TV show that you're watching. The presenter that is presenting the band, you know, being North American, we had our version of French version of MTV. Here's Musique Plus. So we had Musique Plus. Every time that you had a band performing live there, you would see the VJ introducing the band, and the VJ talking is the same level as the band playing. If you're doing a live stream, I would suggest you to do this. Just for your live stream, not for everybody in the room. You want to have, you know, this is why it's not working to just send a copy of your main out to your live stream. Some people find workaround like using a limiter. It's definitely gonna keep the volume down, but if you want to get good result for your live stream, you need to have a separate mix, like I explained before. It's gonna work with a limiter, but I think you should have a limiter on your streaming mix, not as a volume regulator, but as a last step to send out loud volume to your people at home. That's my approach. So I understand your thing. It's totally makes sense, but if you're doing a separate mix for your live stream, it could be it could be a separate mix coming from main 2 or main 4 if you want to. And in your wing section, if you let me turn the camera back on, if you are doing a separate mix using post fader option of the main here, like I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna use a post fader version at -10. Now my voice is coming in on that channel. It's been sent to main 1 from, you know, from my channel to main 1. I'm using pre-fader here, but it should be out this way. That way my fader is gonna affect my volume, but I'm gonna leave it at pre. If I had post fader send, because it's a post fader send, if I'm mixing, but I have a lower level on mix 2, it will reflect that. It will make the same thing. But if I wanted to cheat, and let's say that your band is all mixed at 0, but you want your preacher to be louder, you could do a +10 on your preacher. It's gonna follow according to that fader. You know, at 0 dB, it's gonna be 0. At +10, it's gonna be +10. But if you're doing this, you're basically gonna create a separate mix that will be post fader mix, and it will reflect the move that you do in the room, but you will have a different blend for that mix, if that makes sense. That way you can have an even volume for everybody. Or another option, you could just do here a pre-fader send, and you can create a mix that is not gonna move if you're using a pre-fader send of your channels to another mix. By doing that, you're gonna create a mix that is really steady. You can adjust the volume. Let's say that you have your preacher, you put it at, maybe not +10, but you put it at +6. You're gonna bring down the band until it's pretty much the same level in your stream. You're gonna add a compressor and the limiter to that to send a juicy signal to your people at home, and you're gonna have, you know, independent mixing levels for your stream, if that makes sense. Let me know if this is helpful for you, and if you want to know more about that, maybe. I don't remember if I have a video about this, but I should definitely do one if I don't. If not, well, I'm gonna add it to the list. I have a lot of video on the list that I need to do, and I'm just so busy right now. So yeah. The background music is disturbingly loud. Okay, let me fix that, Ralph. Thank you for telling me. Are you guys hearing it? No. Okay, hold on. Let me bring that down a little bit. And it's too far out on my screen for me to see it. Guys, give me 1 second. I believe it's important for the quality of the stream to have lower background music. Give me a second. I'll be back here in a few. All right, I hope it's better. Lower music, backward headphones. We're gonna make it happen. All right. Moving on. What else do we have? Anyone having noise issue with the Behringer? I don't know. I don't remember how to say it. The MS8000 mic splitter. I hope not, because I recommend it to some people. I believe it's a great option for in-ear rigs to have a split. So. I hope you guys have a good time with that. Let me know if you have any problem with the MS8000. I usually recommend that unit, so I genuinely want to know. Big Mick didn't realize he retired. He is... He retired, and he's why I use Trigger to keygate. Oh, actually, this one... Hold on. As much as I like Big Mick, this one has to go to Eddie Mapp. I don't know if you guys know who Eddie is. He's currently touring with Pantera, from my understanding. He's not a friend of mine. I just know about him because I was following what he was doing with Evanescence. I'm, from my teenage year, a fan of Evanescence. I've, just a disclaimer here, I've worked as a street team member for Wind Up Record back in the day when they were signed on Wind Up Record. I went to a couple of Evanescence shows, had the pleasure to talk for a brief few minutes with Eddie. Seems like a nice guy, to be honest. He was totally open about showing me his show file on the Pro 6 back then. Eddie, genuinely nice guy, but I know it's Eddie who showed Big Mick that trick, and you guys can probably use it, so I'm just going to talk about it. Eddie reverse engineered some stuff and is or was using back then on Evanescence on the toms and floor toms triggers for the gate. But the way he was doing it is he was using one channel with a microphone on the tom and the trigger on, the D-drum triggers only to trigger the gate. And to make sure that he created some look-ahead gating, he was using a little bit of delay on the tom itself. He was using a 5 milliseconds delay on the tom mic, but he was using the trigger in real time. So what happened was, when he was using the trigger for the gate, the drummer would hit the toms or the floor toms, and because the channel delay was the first thing in the chain, or was closer in the chain, the gate would open and the toms, well, and because the gate were already open when the hit of the tom were sent in, it creates something like a look-ahead gating that is used in studio. So that way you never hear the gate open. I personally don't use that trick, but it's a great way to do it. I'm personally using expanders on tom, so that way they open up every single time. I should do a video on what is an expander and why you should use it, because this is one of the greatest tools that I'm using all the time. So yeah, this one was taught to me by Big Mick, but I know it's a trick that he got from Eddie Mapp. Mic disable from Hunter, yes, I definitely got that from Big Mick, and I'm doing that all the time. I'm getting way less room when I'm doing this. Instead of using your overheads mic to do the cymbals, and it depends on the approach that you're having on that. If you're using just your overheads to do cymbal, it's going to work from the bottom or from the top. If you are using your overhead as an overall drum sound, doing it from the bottom, you're going to get actually bad result doing this, if this is what you want to achieve. Some people like to have, overheads to mic the drum and they blend in the close mic. I'm the other way around. I'm using the close mic first and I'm slowly blending the cymbals in the bottom, and usually I'm using under cymbal because it's cleaner. I'm gonna get less snare and less toms in the overhead. I'm gonna get more cymbals out of them. It's just a different miking approach, but using Using my under the cymbals, yes, I did learn that from Big Mick. I saw him do this, and I saw some people on corporate event bands doing the same things because it actually looked better. You don't have, huge mic stand with microphone pointing at the drum. You just have, some drum claw. I'm using latent percussion LP claws, and I put my underhead at key point, and I'm just getting enough, pitch and sibilance from those cymbals to get a decent mix at front of house. But I'm not a heavily cymbals front of house engineer. I mean, they're there, but they're not at the front of the mix. They are usually a little behind because I don't mix to go back where I was a few minutes ago. I don't mix anybody to come see the drummers. Most of the band that I do are either everybody's equal in the band or it's a lead singer. And the lead singer, when you want to go see a lead singer that's singing not too heavy song, you don't care much about cymbals. They need to be there, but they're not the priority in the mix. So if I can reduce the bleeding and get some more cleaner drum, cleaner vocal, and cleaner stage, this is the goal that I try to follow instead of having, everything. And I'm already here, every single drummer in the chat crying out loud, "Oh my God, you need to hear the cymbals." Yes. The only person that want to hear the cymbal is the drummer and the other drummer in the room. Or as loud as the loud vocal, should I mention. Don't quote me on that, please. I wonder if Uli Berenger ever watched your live stream. Probably not. He probably knows who I am in the sense of I think Yuli's watching his stuff close, and I'm getting some response from the Berenger social media team. So if anybody from the Berenger social media team is watching this live stream, thank you very much for doing so. If Yuli is watching, well, I don't know. If he does, well, what's up, man? I would be glad to talk to you. If it's not on a stream interview, will be glad to talk to you and thank you for everything that you've done for the synth world and opening up the gated stuff for beginners with more affordable version of really good product. So thank you very much for doing that, Yuli. If you're watching this, if not, well, okay, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine without it. I don't do it for Yuli. I'm doing it for everybody else who's watching, like you guys. This is why I'm doing this. It does make sense, Digital Dust, to do the tricks that I did. We'll work on that. Thank you for the information. My pleasure, man. I'm doing these streams, like I said, to help you guys out or give you a different approach. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're doing it right, and I do not understand the thing that you're doing with the limiter correctly, and it's working your way. But I just give you my approach to the problem in the situation and what I would do. And some people are not sharing the same opinion or same approach that I do, and then they still make a living out of this. So, sure. All yours. We need a firmware ability to have separate delay and polarity control for left and right on Matrix. Well, you can do it as a workaround with a speaker manager. If I have a camera, yes, I do have a front camera. In your effect, if you have a speaker manager, you can insert this on a Matrix, and it will give you, it won't give you polarity. Do we have polarity on the output? Hold on. Do we have polarity on the output? Source. You can probably change polarity. Hold on. Nope. Okay. Nope. Well, you can definitely do some delay. Separate delay, you can do this with this here. If you're using the position, here, you can do a full delay with the precision delay, but the position here will delay your left and right by a few meters. Actually, I'm Can I do it on my microphone here? Hold on, do I have enough? Yes, I can do this. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, sir. I'm gonna turn that on. Okay, here. I'm gonna change my effect, and I want to do flat crossover point. I'm gonna do pre-delay here. There we go. I'm hearing myself double here. I think. Hey. I think I have a double up on the channel somewhere. Hold on. I don't know. Okay. Let me check my stuff. All right. We'll figure it out. Okay. So if you're doing this and using the position, I hope you guys can understand that we are doing here a 5 meter delay from left to right. So I'm basically delaying my, if I were to use this on the matrix, it will delay left, right. If I'm doing it the other way around, it's going to delay the other side. But if you want the reverse polarity of your left and your right, is there a way to do it? Hold on. We can take a look at this. Okay, is there a way? That's your left and right output. Hold on. Is there a way to do it? I don't want to say no. I want to say maybe, and I just need to figure out how to do it. Is there a way to do it on the main? You have your output delay. That's going to be for both. You have your main width. No, not here. Not here. I could phase revert the whole master, but phase reversing the whole master is not going to do anything for your left and right. It can be mono if you want your stream to be mono or your PA to be mono, but is there a way to do it from there? No. In the routing section, do we have any option? Let's go. I'm using USB here. No. In the source, that's my local source. And if I'm doing this, oh, maybe there. Definitely. Right now, I have a polarity flip on my stream. But that's for USB audio. Is there a way? Hold on. Well, using user signal, you can definitely do some stuff. Using user signal, you can definitely do something. You could do the same thing, actually. If you were... Let's do this. Let's give this a try. Let's use main left and right. Can I use main left and right? No, I can't. Not in these ones. Maybe in this ones. Setting assign. Channel mains. Matrix main. Or actually a matrix. Let's do it in a matrix. Matrix 1. Left. Close. Matrix. Assign. Matrix 1. Right. Post fader. Close. Matrix. Left. Close. Okay. Could that work? You guys have any opinion on that? Could that work? Because I can do it on the USB, and that's giving me, yeah. But, Let me do it again with the matrix here. Well, the main. Let's go main left, and I'm gonna change this to main 1 right. All right. So that's my main left, one, and right. If I'm changing the polarity of that, it's gonna be out of polarity for sure. I could use just one. And if you're using on your output, let's say local in, and you're using right now is 7 and 8 here. If I'm using my user signal, it's gonna affect that's gonna work. It's probably easier to use just a phase reverse connector, to be honest, but that's gonna work. Yes, it's definitely doing something. The phase do affect, from what I heard in my headphone. I don't know if it's affecting the same thing on the stream, but yeah, I believe this would be a way to do it. This would be a way to do it. Yes. Digital Dust, thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great day, man. I know it's late for you guys in India, but yeah, thank you very much. I hope I help you with your stuff, man. Have a good one. Yeah, this is why I want to be able to keep from unassigned source on the wing. It will be helpful to do trigger stuff. Sorry, I'm just backtracking here. For live sound, 9 times out of 10 the rooms sound bad, so it's cleaner to have a cymbal from underneath. Yes, especially when you're doing, like, right now it's the summer here, we have tents, you know, those big tents with the poles in the middle. Those big bright tents that have a lot of 2K summation coming from, you know, the reflection of the peaks and the valley of those tents. Here it's a thing. Actually, last summer I was in a tent where I had so much 2K rolling from the stage. I had people telling me that it was feeding back and the PA was not even on. It was just the drummer hitting the snare, but he was at the right place. He was sending out 2Ks in the room, and it was just like all the time. That's before I turned on the PA. What do you want to do? So yes, in those situations, miking the cymbals from underneath, not having a lot of shell bleed, meaning the snare, the toms, and the kick. If you're putting your overhead under, this is my approach. Actually, go watch some of my vlogs. I show how to do that. The last one where I did part 2 of the mixing on L-Acoustic, I did the same festival 2 years in a row. One time with one band, another time with another band. And on the second video that I released about a year ago, I show exactly where I place my drum mic, the mic that I'm using. I'm using the Beyerdynamic stuff. So it's all there. If you guys want to take a look, go take a look at that video. It's on my channel, not too far out because I don't release every week like I used to. So it's not too far out. Just scroll back until you see a beautiful video called L-Acoustic, mixing on L-Acoustic second year, something like that. You guys are going to see all my drum miking tricks. All right, so it's already been an hour. Guys, it was a great stream today. I'm gonna cut it short because I have some other stuff to take care of. I probably want to take a nap because I had a rough weekend. Let me finish on that. Okay, story time with Guillaume. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I had a really rough one in the sense of Tuesday. I got a call that a monitor engineer that was asked to do a gig did not deliver. It was not happening. Misunderstanding over misunderstanding. I'm gonna cut the story short because I don't want to dive into that debate. I want to talk about more about my experience on the show than what happened. So basically, the guys that was there is not there anymore. I have to fill in. I got the call on, Thursday. Are you available? Can you come in on Saturday? Let me confirm you. So yes, okay, sure. Got the call. You're gonna mix on an SQ6. You gotta have a fully loaded console, and good luck, because you have 12 mix of in-ear monitor to build, and you have a stereo pair of monitor, or multiple stereo pair coming from the same mix of monitor. It's a big show. There is 12 stars, 12 lead singer available on, or 12 lead singer that wanted to 12 lead singer that are gonna be not sound checking, not anything. So I said yes. I know some of the people in the band, Elenite, Fisher Price, first mixer. Yeah, I don't want to bash too much about the SQ6. I'm gonna say I missed the wing for a few reasons. First, I did not have enough input for mixing that show. I had a full 40 channel, fully loaded with everything, stuff in stereo, and I did not have enough output because I wanted to have different pair of monitors, and some artists show up with in-ears and I had to refuse to plug them in because I had no other mix bus available. I think the SQ6 only have 12, and I end up using the main out for an artist that was in absolute need of using in-ear monitors. Guys show up, and it was a fundraiser for autistic people, and one of the I want to phrase that right, sorry, in a second language. Sometimes I want to be careful with word. One of the autistic person that was there needed to perform, and he needed to be in a safe space and to perform well. He was playing keyboard and singing. He needed to have his in-ear, and I needed to make him a stereo mix no matter what. It was to the point where take somebody off the band if you have to, but you need to have him. You need to make him a stereo mix of in-ear so he could be comfortable and perform with the band and a guest singer that was there. So I had to do that. I really missed my wing, and you guys can see the whole night happening. I'm gonna close on that. I'm gonna talk about the mixer later. So all that to say, I show up in the morning, do a sound check, everything goes fine. I get a couple roadblock because there's some tools that I wanted to have that just didn't show up on the console. Maybe you guys can tell me, but I never find a way to have expander on my vocal, especially dealing with floor monitor. It's a really good thing to have expander on a vocal, in the sense of like a noise reduction plugin, like the one that I'm using right now. The source extractor is a way to shut down or to clamp down on your unused vocal when they are not used. When I'm not talking, this plugin, you can see it right there, is reducing my level. It's like having somebody writing the fader, and when you're not singing into the microphone, it's just ducking down the fader. This is really, really useful because when you have singer not singing and go like, blah, 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 I'm singing my thing, and they relax, they're gonna drop down the damn microphone into the monitor. But if you have an expander on them, you're gonna be protected. That mic is off. It's not gonna feedback, even if you bounce it. Well, if you bounce it against the grill, it will probably produce enough energy to open up the source extractor. But if not, there's nothing. I wanted to have expander so bad, and I wanted to have more bus, and I believe the SQ6 is limited. I don't think we didn't have enough physical output. I think I just ran out of bus to do it. So my experience with the SQ was, again, not my favorite sounding console, but I felt really limited using the option that I have on the channel strip. And say whatever you want against Behringer, and I got fluff. I got some people got me told me really bad thing for days about Behringer and the wing, but man, I would 100% get my wing over any SQ for this situation, because I needed the tool. I needed to have the tools to do my job, and I couldn't. well, I did the best I could with what I had. And that's my, that's my modus operandi on those situations. Is the Wing a better sounding console than an SQ? That's up to debate. And I'm going to say that's up to debate on whatever stage box that you get, because I believe there is some more expensive All-You-Need stage box that will work with an SQ. But all that to say, if you give me a Wing with a DL251, I'm good, man. I'm going to have 16 output there, a few local output to do in-ear mixes and monitor. And I would rather have a lesser sounding console with more tools, if you give me the option, like to have my speaker manager system to do monitors and sorry, I'm reading something in French. Bonjour Maximilien. Merci de me confirmer que j'ai bien fait de pas prendre cette gig-là qu'on m'a offert. Okay, sorry guys. I'm debating some stuff here. Hold on. Let me get back on track. All that to say that my experience with SQ6 was average at best. Again, so guys, if you want to have my personal opinion, go buy a Wing anytime before any SQ6 or 7 or whatever. That architecture is not bad, but if you don't, I didn't have the tool or didn't know how to have the tool to do the job that I wanted to do with a Wing that is probably costing the same or less. The Wing give you more option on that. So all that to say, let me finish with the chat here. Especially the effects. Well, I didn't have time to dive into the effects when you have 12 people to deal with. I probably could have used some bus to do some effects bus to do in-ears. I think the console is 16 bus. So yeah, maybe I could have scrapped some effect to get there, but I didn't venture into that thing. I only did everybody dry for that one, especially because I don't really know the console. I don't know the SQ much. All I know is I'll fader flip it into, a channel strip is a channel strip. You give me an EQ and a compressor, I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, all that to say that I fader flipped some stuff and I made everybody happy with no preparation at all. At all. Ça sonnait très bien, Patrick. C'est ce que ça veut dire. Ça sonnait la tonne de briques. Ouais, comme une tonne de briques. Sorry, I'm translating. Funny enough, I'm translating French for another kind of French because not every, like English is not the same. People don't use the same day-to-day expression everywhere like they use in Australia versus the States or England. I need to translate also in another language here. But I want to dive into Maximilien's comment. It says, I just bought a Pro One this summer with the blue stage box. Dude, you did great. Très bon choix. J'adore les Pro One. I love them. Actually, somebody asked me for if I wanted to sell mine. Is it you? Did you buy my console and I didn't know? Because one of my Pro One is probably up for sale. Not that I don't need 3. 2 is enough. So if you guys are in based in Montreal or want to travel to get yourself a Pro One, send me an email. I can probably figure out something. I just want to answer Maximilien's comment because speaking English and reading French at the same time and try to translate and keep reading in all languages is tough. I'm going to translate his comment and I'm going to reply in English again because I didn't answer it correctly the first time. So he heard really good mix on S6L and a salmon from a beautiful artist, France d'Amour. If you don't know her, she's a really well-known French-Canadian singer. It's not Celine Dion, but she's really good. She's been running around for 20 years, and I actually had the pleasure to mix her last Wednesday. She's a really good singer. And her old sound engineer used to do really great mix on his Roland 300. The Roland 300 is the old mixer. They were really not that popular and really hard, from what I heard of, to mix on and to fully utilize because it was the early version of Roland digital mixer. And it's the kind of console that I remember somebody telling me, you need to know your way around so much, in the sense of, if you were using, and I want to get this right, I think if you were using a 4-band full parametric EQ, if you turn on the second dynamic for, let's say, having a gate and a compressor, you would lose access to the middle band of the EQ to save on DSP. But if you EQ it before turning on the second dynamic, you would still be able to use that EQ, but you would just not have access to it, or you would need to disable your second dynamic, change that EQ around, and re-enable that dynamic to use it as a workaround. It was basically a workaround. So this is the kind of console that we're talking with. So let's bring back to something that is more common. It's probably as difficult to mix on as an original 01V from Yamaha. You know, they were not that user friendly, especially if you never mix on digital console before and never understood that. But all that to say, I heard great thing about France sound engineer. He used to be, because the guy just passed away, and long story short, I was asked to do that gig and was not available enough to taking it. So I was asked to take over him, and I heard great thing about that guy. It's so sad that he passed away, and I don't know who's got the gig now, but I hope the guy's gonna have a good time. And all that to say that it's, at some point, the sound engineer that can push as far as you can go with the gear that you have. This is what I did this weekend. I pushed as far as I could on an SXL with the tool that I have, with the knowledge that I had, and sometimes, you know, it's about making a show happen. You just make the show happen, even if it's not perfect. It happened. You delivered. You did your thing. You deliver as much as you can, and this is why I'm busy. This is why I'm working around 200 events a year, because I'm doing the best I can with whatever I have. And a lot of people told me, some singers, back in the day when I was starting, and I only had a Mackie 1604. Those of you who knows the 1604, peut-être que je me trompe, Maximilien, mais ouais, l'ancien Sono de France est décédé il n'y a pas si longtemps. Yeah, all that to say, do your best with whatever you have. Sorry, I'm doing two conversation. One that should be more in the private, I believe. Maximilien, tu m'écriras sur Facebook. Yeah, all that to say, do whatever you can, whatever you have, do your best. Even if you have a 1604 with 1-band parametric mid EQ and low and high, do your best, because you better have a show than nothing. And is it going to be perfect? No, I'm striving for perfection, but the best I could do is the best I can do with the gear that I have and the musician that I have and the stuff. But all that to say also, if you want to get great result, know basically 3 things, and I got that from Pooch. This stream is about name dropping what I heard from a lot of other people, and I got that from Pooch. Mic placement, gain staging, and low cut. If you give me that, I can make a show. On that note, thank you very much, guys, for checking in with me on Monday. See you guys on the next Monday, and probably in some other video that I'm gonna take time to release after I'm watching WWDC from Apple. I'm gonna watch the Apple event. I started it when I was preparing, and I didn't see what happened. Apple release this week. Maybe we just have the M4 Extreme Mac Pro that were announced. I don't know. We'll see that. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, please take care of yourself. I'll see you all later.